Hello. I was just turning off a video I had playing, or that crackling noise was the fireplace. I find it very soothing. I actually pulled a little muscle in my back earlier, just sitting here, and I was fine, and then, pulled a muscle. I don't know how, actually, a couple. I have no idea how that happened, but, so in a wee little bit of pain. Kirsten from Uncover the News, thank you. Donald Trump, if you go after me, I'm coming after you. We will definitely be looking at all things Trump this morning. Also, looking at, is Aileen Cannon going to nobble herself? So let's see, Trump. Aileen Cannon, apparently she's been making some mistakes. Yeah. Deadly force. Okay. Yeah. What's the sound of freedom financial? I don't know who that is. Is Jared Kushner cooperating? Hi, Maureen Howe. Hi. Had a long week. Lionsgate is the Lionsgate. It's a astrological thing. It's a portal that opens up every year on the 8th of August, so 0808 or 88. And I hadn't really heard of it before, but I've been seeing things about it, and so I went and had a look at it a little bit about what it's about, and apparently it's a chance to manifest more abundance and abundance in what I guess is up to each person. So does Lionsgate what opportunities will open to us with Lionsgate? So I thought I'd have a look at that. Hi, Bunny Russell. So I'll do 3 oracle cards on Lionsgate. What is it a good opportunity for? It said it's a good opportunity to. There's lots of different things you can do, but I came across a very simple thing to find your inner lion or lioness is. So I'll have a little chat about the Lionsgate a little bit later. Yeah. Hi, Shelby Lisa. I am just writing down a few things to look at. Hi, Anna Mikado. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I sort of pulled a couple of little muscles this morning. Yeah, not really doing anything, just probably moved a bit wrong. So I'm in a little bit of discomfort, but that's okay. Yeah. So I was like, I'd like to just take a day away and have a little bit of spiritual time to myself. Of course, we'd all love that. But that's not always possible. available, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, I took some time earlier and I did my prayers and all that, and asked for spares protection and everything. And yeah, that yeah, bit of a hectic morning this morning. Anyway, my darlings, yes, of course, the big news, and I saw so many people were doing readings on it Wednesday and Thursday, and Linda G was spot on when she said Wednesday indictments. With the indictments, and it is good news. And hubby's going, but nothing will come of it. I said, even if nothing comes of it, they still had to do it. They still had to show that you're not above the law. You will still be indicted, even if you end up not making it to trial or this, that, or the other for whatever reason. The fact that they brought down those indictments was very, very important. And these indictments are about January 6th. I'm just going to swap my glasses over, darlings. And now I have to sneeze. Oh, my goodness me. Oh. Oh. Hello to all my lovely lurkers, and hello to everybody who watches later on, who chooses to watch my videos. I do appreciate it greatly. So I just, bit of a blank there. I have a condition, a lot of people have it, psoriasis, dry, flaky skin and stuff like that. And if I get too stressed out, I'm fine for a couple of days afterwards. And then suddenly my face just goes, hello, it starts flaking everywhere and all that. And I haven't been too stressed out the last couple of days, but earlier in the week I had a really bad breakout. And yeah, so it's still that's just driving me a bit nuts. Uncover the news. Swore in court yesterday he would not attempt to influence or intimidate or anyone other than yeah. And then he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm going to get you all," or whatever. Yeah. Hi, warrior girl. Hi, Amy. Warrior girl. Yeah. Yeah. But if you go after me, I'm coming after you. After he swore in court yesterday. Is he going to yeah, it can be a real, yeah, it can be really, really uncomfortable and stuff. And I used to, listen to doctors and get the ointments with tar in it and this, that, and the other. And now it's just, well, I'll do everything I can to just not get too stressed out. And sticking horrible ointments all over me is like, hello, my bubba. Going to show everyone your pretty face? Hey? No? Oopsie-daisy. Hey? Not going to show anyone your pretty face? Oh, Mummy loves you too. Yes, she does. You want some nummies? Do you want some nummies? Where would you like them? Down here? Yeah? Down here? Yeah? Okay. No, you don't want them down there. Where do you want them? Over here? There you go. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah. Is he going to end up in detained. I don't know. So let's open up with a look at a couple of things. This is, it just seems like a really disruptive time at the moment. And so before I start, I thought I might just put out a little prayer. Universal Spirit, please help us to put out calming and healing energy and help us as a community find a way to distill some of the troubles and bring peace into areas and lives that really do just deserve it. Okay, so there we go. Hi, Robin Blank. Avoiding oh, I can't do that. I love my milk. I love my, yeah. Not that I go overboard. I mean, yeah, but mine is honestly more stress-based. If I get too stressed out, I have an extremely stressful event. A couple of days later, it's like, hello, my face is just going to fall off. So let's have a look at Trump's. Is he going to end up detained? Hi, Sherry French. Is he going to end up in some sort of detention, house arrest or something? Well, he has some big lessons coming to him because this is the world card. This is a shift in his place in the world, going from one way of moving to another, or one way of living, or going from one journey into another. It's a big warning to him. Everyone's watching him. In terms of strictly yes, no, this is a big yes card. He's going to end up in detention if he can't keep his mouth shut. Will it be house arrest? Yeah, he's still going to be in fairly comfortable circumstances. So they're not going to throw him into a jail cell with everybody else. But so he's still going to be relatively comfortable, but and still have some control of things. But he's not 100% in control here. So some of his autonomy is going to be chipped away. I'm feeling like if he will be put under house arrest if he's not careful. I do feel like there's going to be a gag order. They're going to do first an official. I mean, they let him. They give him, so they're going to give him a bit more leeway, but he can't help himself. Is he going to be placed under a gag order? Yeah, but it's going to be very quick and dirty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like taking it. Hi, Sheila from Inquisitive Tarot. How you going, my darling? All excitement in Washington to DC at the moment, isn't it? With Trump's arraignment, and he's back in court in Florida again. So he's going to make a mess of the gag order. Yeah, Georgia. Yep. I did send out an email, just an impulsive thing. So if you check your email, yep. Somebody was asking on one of the other channels that I was checking out about August 7, which is this coming Monday. Yeah, no, that's fine. Just for occasionally I'll send out an email, and if people want to pop in, they can pop in. Yeah, so this is Kelly from Dozen Cats for me and myself. We are setting up a deep dive to do together. That will hopefully be in a couple of weeks. We've finally sorted out a date and a time, so Kelly or myself will let you know what's coming. Yeah. What else is going to come through? Now, we're talking about this case in Washington, D.C., because I've got a separate question to look at about the one in Florida. But will he stuff it up for himself? Oh, yeah, he will. He will. Kaliningrad, which is the Russian enclave above Poland. Yes. Interesting question. Yeah, I know where Kaliningrad is. Yeah. Yeah, so Trumpy's going to stuff it up. So we'll come back to Trumpy a little bit later. Warrior Girl has asked a very interesting question about the Russian enclave Kaliningrad, who is Putin a threat to them? Is he going to use them to as a pawn and blame the Ukrainians? Let's have a look. Will the people of Kaliningrad be okay? Let's have a look. They are basically painted into a corner. They are in a pretty hard place to be, being a Russian enclave surrounded by Romania and Lithuania. I feel like they're trying to find a way out. I do feel like that they're not going to be a Russian enclave forever. I do feel like they may break away, possibly. It's not a large area, Kaliningrad, as far as I know. Let's have a look. I feel like they're looking for a way, so they really do feel backed against a wall. Um, yeah, it's sandwiched between Poland and Lithuania. Um, it's not just got the harbour city of Kaliningrad there. There's several other communities in there. There's Josvik. There's several other smaller communities. It's not just a city. It is a small region as well. It's on the Baltic Sea. It's quite a it's a small area, but it's still not. It's about half the size of Estonia, I suppose, or a third of the size of Estonia. So it is very small, but it's large enough. I think they may make a bid for independence because they are feeling trapped. Very unsettled. Smothered. Oh, wow, this is interesting. There is a big change coming for Kaliningrad. Um, a big change coming. Um, are they going to make a bid for independence? Well, this is the Six of Pentacles, a evening up things. So yeah, it's not a, a big area, but it is still a small country size area. Um, become an independent territory or some sort of independence. I do not think they want to remain a Russian enclave. Um, or at least to do so, it basically puts them in the area of being a pawn. I do feel like this is probably still some ways away yet, but there are some big changes coming away. They're in a good spot. They're in a good spot to open themselves up to trade. It's not just the little city, the port city itself. There's quite a sizable chunk of land there. There's some other little communities within the area. I think that I do feel that there might be moves. So is Putin a threat to Kaliningrad? Yeah, definitely in a bid to isolate. And I feel like Yeah, but they're starting to feel isolated too. I think this is going to be a very interesting area to watch. Um, hmm, I feel like at some stage that region is going to see a bit of an influx of some more people, maybe settling into some of the open territory, some of the stuff that's there. Yeah. Is he silently freaking out about NATO expanding? Putin. Definitely, yes. Yes, very much turmoil. Mm. Hmm. Okay. Aileen Cannon, is she going to stuff things up? Is she going to be replaced in Florida? Are they going to have to replace her? She is being carefully watched by the 11th Circuit. Not a simple thing to just replace a judge, but there is an element of celebration when she was selected on Trump's party. Celebration was too soon. There is the hope card here. No, sorry, the star card, hope of a balanced. Um, this is her problem: is she can't really keep things balanced. She doesn't have the experience enough, and she's making lots of errors, which I got the word mistrial went through my head. Will there be a mistrial? And the Empress has come up with that. There's a possibility, a real possibility that her mistakes are going to lead to a mistrial. If there's a mistrial, she's trying to cushion things for Trump as much as she can. Balance is going to be brought back to the whole thing. I If this Florida case goes to a mistrial, she's out. Um, she's gone. She may as well resign because she's really struggling. She just doesn't get the complexities of any of it. I feel that her mistakes and her errors could lead to a mistrial. If she's going to be, again, I just got the word suspended sort of flashed in front of my eye. Hi, human generic. Ooh. She could end up being suspended. If that's the case, someone else, another judge, will be appointed if there's a mistrial. Special counsel has just alerted the DC federal judge about Trump's social media post today. Okay. Now, this DC judge is not Elaine Cannon. She is I don't know her name, but she's a completely different kettle of fish. And will there be reprisals? Let's have a look. Hi, Celtic Seer. Oh, who have we got here? We have someone.
Hey.
Hello.
I just got off doing a pre-recording with Sheila and Deanne, and I went to check my emails, and I saw your email. I went, "Oh, Christy's on."
Yeah, I just thought I'd send out a bit of an invite. It was a last minute impulse thing. Hi, Amanda Carroll. Just see if anyone wanted to join to come in, pop in and say hello. We're currently looking at Jack Smith has alerted the DC federal judge about Trump's social media post where he says, if you come after me, I'm coming after you, that sort of stuff. So what do you think? Will there be any repercussions for Trump on that?
I this just read on this.
Does not take any crap.
Yeah, no, I just read on this like 20 minutes ago. And what I got was, I think the judge is going to call him in, and say, look, let me explain to you what I meant by you can't be doing threats and whatnot. Let's be very clear. This is what I mean. If you do it again, you're going to jail. So I think she's going to kind of give him an opportunity to not do it again, because she's going to do it in such a way that she's saying, okay, look, let me explain so you understand in your limited capabilities of what I'm saying. And it's not going to matter because he's not going to be able to shut up. So,
yeah,
he's,
it's also got, that's what I thought. He's not going to be able to keep his mouth shut. I said she might slap a gag order on him. And that's it. I was saying it a bit earlier.
Because this DC judge she plays by the book. She goes by the book. She doesn't play around.
No. It's also special counsel wants a protective order. I suppose that's over witnesses and stuff. And I do think that in this case they will get it. Will the special counsel get the protective order that they're asking for?
Hi, Celtic Seer. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Warrior Girl.
Yeah, this is a big yes.
Wow. Yeah.
The King of Queens, the protection. Hi, Kelly.
I had just put my deck back up. Let me pull it back out.
That's all right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I just signed off with Sheila and Deanne.
With Sheila?
Celtic Tarot. Sheila Celtic Tarot. She and Deanne Shield Maiden
earlier.
Yeah, Deanne Shield Maiden Tarot. The three of us did we did a pre-recording. So Sheila will probably drop it either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure when. But yeah, so we've been at it for the last couple of hours. reading, giggling, and having fun. And
Yeah. So Southern Cats for Wellness, and I emailed you back with the date, good date, and we're going to do a deep dive into Scientology in a couple of weeks. So, yeah,
Leah
that's going to be
Remini
really
just filed a big lawsuit against Scientology and Miscavige.
Did you see her series?
Oh yeah,
I watched it. Oh, it was.
Yeah, I knew somebody that was
a little
a
girl.
Scientologist years ago that was always trying to get me to come to their church. And I was like, no, I don't do church.
If you haven't seen it, it's called Scientology: The Aftermath, and it's by Leah Remini, who most people would probably know her from The King of Queens. And
oh God, she's been around for
her
years.
journey away came from her asking one question: where is this person?
Yep, balancing act.
And that started it for her.
The balancing act. She's going after their secrets, telling them to get their crap together. Where's this card? Oh, okay. See, I took my glasses off. So she got the six, and then the Six of Pentacles reversed. And
hi, J Cat Lady. Thank you. That's okay. People can't join all the time, and sometimes
I just happened to look out. I like I said, I just got off with Sheila and Deanne, and went to check my email, see if there was anything I might have missed. And I saw your email, and I thought, damn, we've been trying to read together for a year and a half.
Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Oh. Kismet. It was meant to be.
There's a third season of Leah's show. Yeah, it is. It is a really fascinating show, and some of the people really high up in the organisation have left, and yeah, there is a reckoning coming.
Leah Remini was the one that filed the original missing persons report with the LAPD on Miscavige's wife, who just up and disappeared.
Asked that one question,
and no one has really seen her in almost 10 years now. I mean, it's been a while. Nobody's. I mean, I've never pulled anything to tell me that the woman is no longer with us. But what I have pulled is that she's not capable of it's like they've done something to her mind so that she's not capable of even trying to escape, is what I've gotten in the past. They've really screwed with her head.
Some questions. I mean, it's not just this Miscavige thing that I'm interested in too. It's going right back to the start with L. Ron Hubbard. So it's going to be. I don't know how long we're going to take to do it, Kelly, but it's going to be really, really interesting. And and we'll talk more about it. We've set a date and time and everything. So it will be really interesting to see.
So what are we reading on now?
Let's see. I just did a reading on Aileen Cannon, and there could be a mistrial because of her just incompetent handling of everything. That's what I got. I got the words mistrial going through.
You the Florida judge?
Yeah, that's the Florida judge,
right? Yeah.
And what was the other thing that went through my?
I tell you, she's walking a very fine line right now because she's trying to take care of her buddy Trump, but she's got
suspension and suspension.
other judges and the whatever they call it, whoever it is that watches judges and what they
11th
do.
Circuit, yeah.
Yeah, they're like breathing down her neck, of hey, we can pull you from this and we can do it permanently. So, so she's yeah.
Yeah, I got mistrial. What happens is a word goes through my head, and sometimes I feel like it just stamps onto my right eyeball. Like I get a fleeting ghost of the word on my right eyeball, and
Yeah.
got mistrial and suspension. So if there is a mistrial, she's going to end up being suspended, and because there's no reason why there should be.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because the first thing I pulled on her was the Three of Wands, which is her, it's trying to prepare, trying to get everything together. But then I pulled the Five of Cups right after that. That's regret, knowing that she screwed something up. Let's see what else I get.
This career, I think she has dreams of the Supreme Court, and that's not ever going to happen.
No.
No,
then I pull the Eight of Cups.
Might not even be able to hang on to her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's between a rock and a hard place right now. So, and I think that no matter what she does,
put herself there.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew she was not capable of handling this case. She knew that her previous
right away
decision had put her in a position of conflict of interest, and she would have saved her career if she'd have recused herself and said, look, obviously I've made some errors in this previous case and all that. I need to, some mentoring. But she didn't do any of that. So people have that choice. And that she was at that crossroads. But she chose the wrong way. Yes, the new moon in Leo 8, the Lionsgate.
Yeah, that's coming up next week, Tuesday.
Yes, and doesn't do Trump any favors. Yeah, no, is the Lionsgate going to help Trump? Let's have a look. The Lovers
about
disharmony, but it's reversed. Disharmony, self-love, of course, imbalance, breakup, arguments, discord, bad choices, conflict, attachment, and indecision. So no, it's not going to help Trump.
Wrong answer. Oh, he's so screwed. He just don't even know. Let's see what we get here.
Going from a golden throne to a stainless steel proddy.
He's in a maze.
A maze, hey?
He's in a maze. He doesn't know which. He's so lost. And he's got to face the dragon.
I love those cards.
There's a deck of characters.
Psychic characters.
It's the deck of characters.
Deck of character. Okay.
Yeah. And you have tools, you have characters, and you have places. So it's like mini decks in one deck. And some people mix them all together and read it that way. I like to keep them separate. That's just the way I like to read them. But they're fun because They're just little drawings with one or two words on it. You pretty much take it where you want to take it to.
Yeah. When we were just discussing that before, I was just idly shuffling this deck, and 3 cards flew off the top, out of it, 3 off the top.
The last one I pulled was dancing shoes.
The Emperor.
So he's in a maze.
Yeah.
He's confused. He doesn't know which way to turn. He's dealing with the dragon.
Yep.
And he's dancing his ass off trying to figure out how to get out of trouble.
Like the red shoes, the movie The Red Shoes. The ballet dancer put the red shoes on and she couldn't stop dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying before, when you were drawing those cards, I was just idly shuffling the deck, and 3 cards flew off the top. And the first one is the Emperor, upright, all the good things about the Emperor. But then we've got the 7 of Pentacles, lack of long-term visions, lack of reward, impatience, giving up too soon, lazy, set, low effort, waste, just lack of growth. And I feel like lack of growth is the big one here. And then we've got the Knight of Swords, upright, fast thinking. Well, he is success driven, assertive, but he's also in order to be these things properly, he has to have gotten the 7 of Pentacles upright. But because it's reversed, this fast thinking, super intelligent, highly assertive and effective leader, he was never going to be that because of all of these negative things that he is about. With the 7 of Pentacles, lack of long-term vision, lack of growth. He's lazy. Instead of making the right choices, making the hard choices and doing the work, he'd rather pay people off. So he's lazy. And he'd rather cheat. So this is basically everything he could have been that he's not because of everything he is. But basically that, and all of that is even more so to come out over the next few months. Yeah. So it's really, really, Shelby Lee says, please, I don't need to see him dance anymore. All he does is punching the air. Yeah. Hi, Maura.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what we got here. He's in a hole.
Yep.
He's facing the Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Because all-out war is getting ready to break out. And he's the driving force. He's doing his damnedest to try to keep everybody stirred up because he wants to make another J6 happen. He thinks if he can get his people to have another big conniption fit,
it's not
run on the judge or something, that he's going to be miraculously saved and step back into the presidency, which will then become a dictatorship. Because
I think the lack of crowds turning out and all that, people are still saying that means that there's a lack of threat against people. Look, as was shown with that person turning up at the Obamas, and that person who sent bombs out a few years ago, you don't need a whole crowd to seriously put people at risk. There is still risk from the odd person or the odd one or two people who will go to extreme lengths because they believe they've bought everything about this man and believe that he is the rightful ruler of their country and should be until he falls off his perch. The danger at the moment is not from crowds, it is from the individual. And it's not the big group of people, it is small. And so unfortunately, I do think there's going to be still quite a lot of incidences of these individual people, targeting others who they feel are a threat. So I just that just entered my head and felt I should get that out there. So we're going to see more of these small targeted things.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to worry about dealing with the lone wolves and the little small militia groups that are still going to go out there and try to do what they can do. I think that,
and unfortunately, as
if I know the FBI is aware and trying to, it's like the federal law enforcement is trying to deal with all of this. But when you get down to the local law enforcement in these different areas, whether if any kind of riot is successful or not is going to depend on how many people on that local law enforcement is a Trumper or not. And unfortunately, for the last several decades, this extremist, right-wing, fascist, white nationalist type people have slowly been infiltrating the police departments and the fire departments and the whatnot, so that there's more of their people in there, which is why you get someone like what happened to George Floyd. You get some cop kneeling on a guy's neck for 10 freaking minutes live on air and kill him and thinking that it's perfectly okay for him to do so.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the good old boy, well, that's just what
I'm
happens.
surrounded by him down here.
Yeah.
I live in the South.
The good old boys. Okay, well, we'll have a look at this. The good old boys.
It's not just good old boys, it's the good old boy network. It's a
that's
whole
what
network of these people. I mean,
the good old boys network heading for a downfall. Let's have a look. And this is all at this local level where local power, it does make a difference. Intimidation, threatening people. What are you turning out at the polls for? And you shouldn't be here and stuff like that.
just showing up and parking their car in front of a polling booth will knock half the people that would go in and vote from showing up, just because they don't want to have to deal with the cops. Whether out of a real reason to be worried as to a supposed
the Ace of Cups
worried.
Yeah, I got the Ace of Cups reversed. Disappointment. It's disappointment and more disappointment. But people who stand up and would run and all that, they get intimidated out of, because a lot of these are elected positions, and the Queen of Wands reversed. Lacking, a lot of these people, they're really, really very weak, which is why they get themselves into a position of power, because then they can use the law to run their little town.
Yeah.
What is the future of this network, of this type of policing? Wow. I asked, what is the future of this type of policing? And I've got a big Three of Swords. Heartache, emotional pain, sorrow. Well, they're already causing that in a lot of towns. A lot of towns are already feeling that. Will it come to an end, this form of policing? King of Swords reversed. No, I just see it. These people in an abuse of power, they're controlling, dishonest. Turn a blind eye.
First card I pulled was Judgment.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got that.
They're gonna be looked at.
Mm.
And even though it's an Ace of Wands, I'm looking at this right now as just one big stick that's gonna wallop them upside the head. Say, y'all got to get your crap together.
Yeah, it's still going to take a while, but it's not going anywhere.
But once I think we start cleaning out the local law enforcement and getting it back like it should be, people will celebrate. I mean, because you want to have, people depend upon local law enforcement to be there to handle things when something bad is happening. That's what they're there for. But it's
grand old Putin.
There's a lot of good cops out there. I mean, even down here in the South, there's a lot of good cops out there that are just trying to do the best they can.
And they keep their mouth shut because that's the only way they can keep their jobs, and that's the only way they can do the best they can to help the community. But they know that if they go and look at
if they walk away, who's gonna be there
or poke their nose in here? Yeah. Hi, Denise Trudeau.
Decisions to be made. Lots. I mean, they're tied up. But we've got death.
Unfortunately,
so we've got changes
for everyone.
coming.
Yeah, there are changes coming. That is good. Perhaps maybe because I'm so remote from it, all I'm still seeing is the negative. But you're seeing positive changes, and
I think we're going to have to go through a lot of negative to get to the positive. Yeah, we're going to have to go through negative to get to the positive, and it's not going to happen overnight.
No,
but I think it will happen. Things down here in the South moves a lot slower than in other parts of the country or in the world. People get very stuck in their ways as far as, well, that's the way my daddy did it. That's the way my granddaddy did it. That's the way my great granddaddy did it. So that's why I do it that way, and it's getting past.
His daddy was sheriff, his granddaddy was sheriff, his great granddaddy was sheriff. If it's not, if you can't have someone who doesn't have this last name as sheriff. Well, yeah, you can,
and with some people, it's that rush of being in control, being able to control other people because you've got that badge, you've got that gun, you can royally mess up their life by locking them up, whether if they need to be locked up or not. With some of them, it's getting that thrill of being able to bully other people just because you can. I'm the law here. I gotta do what I want.
Local district attorneys being elected and stuff. I think that there need to be reforms, but I live in a country where not everything here is perfect here. Where for many decades, some of the police forces got away with heaven knows.
Ones.
And they weren't elected; they were appointed.
I think some of it's going to happen pretty fast. Followed by the 2 of Wands. So there's plans being made.
Celtic Sarah has asked about flooding in Beijing in China. Any insight into that?
Well, I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, I've heard stuff about it.
Was
And I
it
feel
like
like this is one of the biggest things about urbanization too. And I'm not speaking here as a tarot reader. The King of Swords, there's definitely regulation. I'm not speaking here as a tarot reader. I'm speaking here as someone whose degree was in geomorphology, which is the changes to the earth, mostly through natural causes, but also the effects of human interaction with the earth's surface. And Beijing is a huge city, and pavements and drainage systems and all that, they often fail because huge tracts of soil are gone, huge tracts of trees are gone. This is decision. The emperor. Stability is going to come back, but it's.
I just pulled 2 reversals here.
Urbanization. Yeah. There's going to be more. I feel like we've got the Empress here, cushioning the Emperor, the King of Swords. Decisions made at the top have left the door open for this sort of stuff. Urbanization, bringing people in from the countries. They're easier to control in big cities, believe it or not. Leaving people out in the vast aspects of the country, centralization, all this sort of thing. Look, I feel like the Empress here is there's more coming.
Yeah.
It's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time that Beijing and some of the largest cities in China will experience this, simply because of the changes to the landscape and the urbanization and the installing of pavements and roads and systems that really, due to a lot of very dodgy decisions in some parts of these cities, some of the older parts of these cities, have basically made these the perfect landscapes for huge flooding events. And I do feel there's going to be more coming. So,
well, I drew 2 reversals, and normally I don't draw reversals because I don't put them in my deck. But we're looking at the Queen of Swords and the Star, both of them in reverse. So both of them are talking about a lack of faith, a lack of ability, a lack of just a lack. And a lot of that, what, my darling? Yes, I know.
Look, Papa, another pussycat.
Yeah.
Another pussycat. Gonna show everyone your pretty face. Show everyone your pretty
Hi,
face.
darling.
No.
Hi, sweetie. Meow.
You can hear her, can't you? You can hear the pussycat.
Wow.
Yes, you can.
Here. Silly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Looks
flooding is
like
becoming a real issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Autumn from Black and Orange just jumped on a live. For her to come
Okay.
on at this time of night, you know it's something special. Something about special
Ooh.
counsel has alerted the DC federal judge about Trump's threats that he did tonight at a rally.
Oh yeah, yeah. We looked at that earlier.
Yeah, that's not gonna go over real well.
Autumn is yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what she's saying. Um,
Mm.
looks like uh, looks like Trump
Yeah, Trump's
is
threats. Yep.
attacking four different prosecutors in uh, DOJ cites Trump post and protective order request. So they're looking at they may be putting out a full gag order on them. And like I said, we were just reading about
Yep.
that earlier with Sheila and Deanne. I think the judge is going
Mm.
to call his ass in and say, "Look, um, let me explain to you what I mean by you can't talk about this stuff or you can't threaten people."
I've just
You know,
drawn a card on that. I've got the Ten of Pentacles, and it's like that's it. You're at the end. You're at the end. The 10 is the end of a cycle, and you're at the end. At the end of my tether with you.
yeah,
Yeah, and the hen man was on the bottom limbo. She could not just gag order him, but um, you're under house arrest, buddy. That sort of thing.
yeah, he is.
In limbo, meaning he's sort of suspended. Can't move, can't
Well, and
speak.
the thing it is he was just
Um,
warned by the
only.
judge to chill it.
Mm,
He didn't listen.
mm.
Wow. Let's see. It says majestic whale, but I think Trump is just the whale. There's nothing majestic about it. And I can say that because I'm fat. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I am what I am what I am. And I do like green eggs and ham.
And this guy puts him, if this judge puts him under house arrest, it's not just going to be normal police. This is going to be federal marshals guarding him. And yeah, this is like the marshal service.
He's going to just keep running off at the mouth until he gets himself in a place that. And as much as all of us want to see him get locked up and thrown away in jail, I don't see that happening simply because
No.
of the logistics of locking up a president or a former president.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't
he
see him
knows
going
things.
into
You know,
a
it would be far too easy for somebody to use him as a bargaining chip if he's exposed to the general
oh yeah,
population
no,
in a prison.
he cannot be put into any form of facility like that. So I'm seeing house arrest.
Yeah.
So
I see
3 or
him
4
getting locked up more in a sense of being locked down in his house or something, you know.
Yeah, that's it
Take
exactly.
away his phone, take away his Twitter, take away
Whack,
whatever,
whack a little bracelet on his ankle, and yeah,
and
and
take away his
federal
internet.
marshal, federal
Yeah,
marshal,
take away his phone and his internet.
and
That's what you get.
and as for any court appearances in other states or whatever, hey, that's what Zoom's for. He can attend them virtually, but yeah,
Yeah, the
the
judge is
strictest.
getting ready to bulldoze his BS right out the door.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what, because this is ships coming in, the Three of Wands, and of course, which is also consequences for your actions and your decisions. Sometimes those consequences are good because you've taken the best actions, from the right place. But if you're, you know, taking your actions from the wrong place with the wrong intention, the consequences are those as well. Um, will Jack Smith go after members of Congress that aided and abetted Trump? Yes,
Yes.
there will be
I'll
investigations.
ask
There
again,
are
but I've
investigations.
actually read on that several times and I always get a yes.
Mm.
Jack Smith go after Congress. Oh, that's a big old yes.
Mm.
I am.
There are definitely people in Congress who, and quite a few congressional staffers as well, whether they're there now or not, um, saying, I was just doing what my boss told me to do,
Yeah.
is um, not an excuse for ripping out
Ding,
an
ding, ding,
emergency
ding,
fund
ding.
from a representative's office for um, distributing maps for, yeah. Um, the investigation within the Capitol is happening. Um, the pandemic, Shelby Lisa says there has to be consequences for his lack of concern during the pandemic. Many Americans died because of him. Well, yes. Um, he needs to experience an actual jail cell. Nothing else will get through that tiny little brain. I
Pull the moon.
I have the moon, yeah. I have said to James, something like people like these who do things like this and who can't be put in a jail cell. You don't have to put them under house arrest in their nice little luxurious house. Hell no. Take them out to some little property out in the country somewhere with, running water and
not something that's got gold leaf toilets or
their
whatever.
basics, yeah.
Take them somewhere where they have no bells and whistles, no fancy schmancy anything.
They're comfortable. They have a decent bed. They have the basic facilities like a toilet and shower, but no fancy food, no fancy this, no fancy that. Yeah.
No maids, no chefs. He wants to eat, he's got to get in there and cook it himself.
Oh, not even that. Just hello. His MRE feels ready to eat. Ration fats. Rat pack them. I think that would be,
Well, yeah, because both of our countries were where Britain sent its ne'er do wells, they're criminals. They sent them to us on this continent, or they sent them to your country on your continent. Seems like
When will the other corrupt GOPs go to jail? I think that's over the next 2 years. I'm getting like over the next 2 years. Let's have a look.
wait, what's the question?
When will the other corrupt GOPs go to jail?
Ah,
The King of Swords. Now, this has got 3 birds flying here. This is the prosecution. 3, 3, 3. Look, over the next 3 years, there's going to be a lot of prosecution happening. I feel like that each bird it represents a year. And the King of Swords for me is the prosecutor, always has been. The Queen of Swords has always been the judge. So the Prince of Pentacles, opportunity. There is opportunity coming. This is just the start. This is the foundational time. I feel like Jack Smith and his team, they're taking this opportunity not just to lay the foundation for the next few years.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
I'm
the
getting
universe or the world,
the
place in
Four
the
of
world.
Swords
They
reversed.
are.
The Four of Swords reversed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all feeling pretty burned out. Everybody on all sides. We're all exhausted.
Mm.
You've got Trump and his people and his maggots and whatnot all living in the past.
Yeah.
But we've got Jack and Fanny and all of them coming in. What is that? The Knight of Swords. They're not wasting any time. Jack's already putting in there
Mm-hmm.
for a speedy trial. He doesn't want to drag it out. He wants to get in,
Yeah.
get out. Let me move on to the next guy.
The lovely Linda G the other day was saying she feels like now how Aileen Cannon put off the trial until early next year, and there was a period coming up which it could have happened in, that this judge is going to grab that time. And well, if you're not going to do it, then I'm going to do it, you know. So, which will be interesting. But back to these other GOP things, I got the King of Swords and everything, and then I got the universe shift in the world, shift in the place. This to me validates these 2 cards that I pulled, saying that over the next few years, 3 years, the prosecutions are going to take place, and they're really laying the foundation. And this to me backs that up. These people are going to experience a very huge shift in their world, in their position, in their place in the world, and a change of the way in which their world runs. So it takes time. It takes time for true justice to happen. And we all want to see legal justice. But we can't cut corners to get it. And we can't wish bad to get it. Yeah. And trust me, they will feel the scrutiny of the world upon them. They will. Yeah. Yeah, May 24th. Yeah. The American people have to see justice done. Will Trump survive the next 3 years? Oh, will Trump still be here in 3 years? Let's have a look. I don't know. What do you think? I try to picture something happening I feel like whether Trump is here or not in 3 years, whether he passed or not, within that time, in 3 years' time, the aftermath is still going to be happening, and the
Yeah.
changes brought about by his impact are still going to be happening.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Mm,
He basically, the way I've always seen it is basically he opened the door for a lot of this deep-seated hatred and bigotry that were in people's souls, that some of them, I don't even think they realized they still felt that way, um, because it just wasn't discussed. It wasn't talked about. It. Nobody did anything about it because it had just gotten to the point where you just didn't discuss those kind of things. You didn't go there. But he gave them permission to bring that hate back out, kind of like opening Pandora's box, and
yeah.
now you can't close it back up again. And in a way, it was a really good thing that he did
Mm,
this, because it woke up the rest of us to say, oh shit, this is still a problem, a
mhm,
big problem right here. What are we going to do about it? I think one of the biggest faults that the American people as a whole have is the fact that we all got very complacent.
mm,
We all got very self assured in our democracy, in our freedoms, in our um, fill in the blank, whatever it is that you want to think about the country. And I think for a lot of people, when Trump got elected, I think it really rocked a lot of people back on their heels, because they were like,
mm,
whoa, how did this idiot win?
mm.
Well, now we know how he won. And he cheated. He got Russia to fudge the votes for him. Um, and just all of the subsequent things that he did from the day one of him being in office. He thrives on chaos. That's what brings him joy, is turning all around him into chaos. And basically, that's what he did for 4 years with this country. He kept us on this whirling dervish of chaos. I mean, you no sooner comprehended what one thing was he was doing, and he was on to number three. It was like it was just nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And I think a lot of what people were at when Biden got elected was, one, they saw they saw Trump for the crook that he was,
Mm.
and two, everyone was exhausted, and it was like, yes, if we put Papa Joe in office, we've got someone in there that knows what the hell they're doing. They know how to run the country.
Yeah.
They know all the right people to call on to help them to run the country, and I can get some freaking sleep.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's all well and good, but it's time for us to get back up from our nap. We're not done.
Mm.
And if
Mm.
we want
Yeah.
to retain a democracy, we're going to have to fight for it. But the founding fathers made it that way for that very reason, so that we would become complacent and just, oh, whatever the president or Congress says or whatever. No, I mean, the Constitution was written the way the founding fathers envisioned it, was something that every few generations you literally did an overhaul on it to bring it back up to speed,
Mm.
because they knew and understood the fact that the country is going to continue to grow
Mm.
and change. And if we want it to grow and change in a good way, then we have to stay on our toes and make sure that it, it rolls along like it's supposed to. What happened was people got complacent. They were like, they weren't getting involved in politics. They weren't paying any attention to who was getting voted in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, I vote Republican because my daddy voted Republican, and his daddy voted Republican, and his daddy voted Republican. It's just what we do. Well, if all your friends jump off the bridge, is that what you're going to do? Because that's what they're going to go do. You're going to jump too.
Well, there was a time
You're
where
going to step.
voting Republican was a good thing. They didn't, yeah, but they didn't just that blind, because maybe when great granddaddy did vote Republican, it was a good thing to do. It was the right thing to do, the best thing to do.
Well, yeah, before the
But
Civil Rights movement, the Republican Party
changed such that that's no longer the case,
Yeah.
And the same way where at once Democrats were real villains. Now
Yeah, I mean, it's been a complete reversal. It used to be the Republicans were the Progressive Party, and the Democratic Party was,
that your great granddaddy might be up there in spirit saying, if this guy does not wake up and see what's happened to this party and start voting for the people who can help, I'm going to go down there and kick his ass, and kick his ass. And because
see, that's what gets me is
finally voting for now. It's not what I voted for here, and
I have family and friends who bitch and complain about, you can't get any decent service anymore when you're dealing with the government. And how come I can't get on the Medicaid when I have no income? And why can't this and that and the other? And I've gotten to the point where I've been like, well, who did you vote for the last time we voted? And when they tell me, and 9 out of 10, it's another Republican that they voted for, I said, well, then what are you bitching for? That's what you voted for. You voted for the guy who told you he was going to do this to you. So why are you complaining?
We've got another question here. When do you see Putin ending the war with Ukraine? Time frame? Well, tarot's not good for time frame. Putin will not end the war with Ukraine.
I think Putin is going to depart this earthly plane before.
Until he is gone, he will not end it. He will not end it. 8 of Cups. He will continue. Now, one of the things about the 8 of Cups, often it's seen as abandonment, but it is also seen as a continual striving for more, not accepting what you've been given, striving for more.
Yeah.
And Putin, he will not stop on his own.
I see him gone before they can finish that. But in the process of what he's done, he has united Europe in a way that hasn't been united since World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, my Lord, we just had Norway and Sweden join NATO.
Yeah.
Who in the world would ever think that they would do that?
Because
they've always been neutral countries. We're not going to pick sides. Well, they pick a side this
Norway, Sweden, certainly, yes. Yeah. But and here we've got the Queen of Swords, Judgment, and then we've got 7 of Pentacles and failure written on it, and it's the ripple effect is going to be around for a long, long time, even after he's faced the judgment and he's called to answer for his actions.
Yeah.
It will end. It will end. But time frames, we all said, it'll go for 10 days and then 10 weeks and then 10 months. And then we can no longer afford to do that. But it's not just when it ends, it's the ripple effects of it as well that is going to be
Yeah.
felt, and it's going to be especially felt in Russia. Um, I did a reading earlier on Kaliningrad, the enclave, the Russian enclave, and
Mhm.
it's not a tiny little city, port city. It's actually quite a large expanse of land there.
Yeah.
It's big enough to be a small country on its own, and I did see that they were feeling backed into a country and that into a corner, and that there might even be a bid for independence at some stage in there. So yeah, Finland joined NATO. Yeah, Sweden's still waiting. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize Sweden was still waiting. I thought they had already gotten in.
No, Turkey is to hold up with Sweden. Yeah, Erdogan has several. Or is it Hungary?
Yeah, Turkey's kind of freaking out right now.
One of those countries is definitely not fully supportive of Sweden joining. They will be there. They will be admitted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shelby Lisa's family is
Yeah,
from
my
Ukraine.
great aunt moved us back to them to the Declaration of Independence.
Mm. Yeah.
I had a great aunt that did genealogy traces of the family. She traced us back to the
Yes,
1300s.
we've got books and books and books of our genealogy on my dad's side of the family and stuff. And yeah, they're like each book is about this thick or something and goes back hundreds of years. Yeah, we are who we are today. We are who we are as societies because we've allowed it to happen. And you've got to at times stand up and say, no, we cannot allow this anymore. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
In Ukraine, you got to give it to Zelensky in Ukraine. They have shown the entire world what it is to stand up for yourself.
Oh,
and
yes.
for your right to be free.
He is one of those figures that
I mean, Zelensky's going to go down in the history books the same way that Kennedy did, or Lincoln did, or Washington did. You know.
Well, I hope not in the same way that Kennedy and Lincoln did, because haven't been assassinated.
No, but I mean their legacy, what they leave behind, what they stood for.
His impact on his own country and on the world is, yes, definitely. Okay, guys, I am going to wrap up now. Shari, thank you for joining me. It's been lovely.
You're welcome. I'm just glad I checked my email and I saw your email.
Yeah, I just throw it out there, and I do it occasionally.
I've got my second channelversary coming up the end of the month.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a party. I don't have the details yet. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do or how, but you'll be getting an email. So
send me an invite, girl, and we'll be there. And thank you everyone for joining. Didn't get time to do cards today.
Thanks for letting me jump on.
Bit of housekeeping for members. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 my time here in WA, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern time in the US, will be my members only live. So if you're a member, you can come and join that. Okay. Love you all. Go. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay loving, and above all, stay laughing.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for letting me butt in.
I love a bit itchy. Just